The question is college actually worth it? And because this is a video where I'm talking about college, of course I have to rep my school. I promise you that's not going to hold I'm not going to be biased at all because I went to college. I'm going to college right now and I'm going to be graduating this spring. I think this is a perfect time for me to talk about this because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I think this is a very important topic to discuss because when I was first getting ready to go to college, I really had no idea what I was even going for. The only reason I went to college to begin with was because I didn't even think there was any other option. And to me, at the time, there wasn't. I went to college because I essentially had to. I didn't have any other things that I wanted to do. I had no other place I wanted to go. But really the only thing that appealed to me when I was first, getting ready to go was the fact that I could go somewhere away from home. But even though I didn't think I had any other option, there was always something inside of me, always like some thought, some belief that I was not going to go down that path, that the things I would learn and things I would obtain in college would not be useful to me for what I wanted to do with my life. And I think that is the case for so many people where they are faced with a decision. They graduate high school, or they're getting ready to graduate high school, and they have to choose between going to college or doing something else, getting a job. I don't know. There's so many things that you could do, but there is not just like another like socially acceptable option. Like, I think that is the biggest problem. But as it stands right now, if I was somebody who had just graduated high school and was trying to figure out what to do with my life, I don't think I would go to college. And I'm saying this as somebody, like, I was in a fraternity. I went out quite a bit. I did all the social things. I played intramural sports. I did all that stuff. And those were all great. I think I made a lot of good friends. But the purpose of college is to be a place where you go to prepare yourself for the real world, as I call it. You take the classes, you learn, and you get the degree that says you're able to do your homework. That's really all it says. And I've been able to see this raw reality of college, of just school in general, because right now I'm living at home and I'm basically doing my last semester online. I'm going to be graduating college in this chair pretty much. But the social aspect and the networking aspect, when you like join a fraternity, for example, they say that the biggest thing you get out of it is the friends, which is partially true. You make a lot of good friends. You are basically forced to. But then they talk about how networking is very important and is very powerful and a big reason why you should join a fraternity in college. But the truth is, I don't think I made nearly as many connections or honestly, I can't even say if I made any at all in a fraternity compared to the amount of connections that I have made, like talking to people on Twitter, for example. I have met so many more people just like sharing my ideas and talking about stuff on Twitter than I ever have, from people of my fraternity. And just based on the pure schooling alone, it always bugged me. Even when I was very early on in my career as a freshman and a sophomore, junior, it just drove me crazy that nothing I was learning was valuable or interesting to me at all. And I was a health and exercise science major in college, which is basically a funnel into being like a personal trainer or physical therapist. You can take a route where you do health and exercise science, and you go to med school or pre-PA school, which is like a physician's assistant. And the only reason that I chose that major was because I had, lifted a lot in high school, and, going into college, I kind of was drawn to the exercise science field, I guess. That was the only thing I could actually, see myself enjoying. But I never knew how it would actually turn out for me. I got the idea in my head, like, yeah, just go major in health and exercise science, pre-med, you can become a doctor maybe. And not even like halfway through my freshman year of college, I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. Like, this is not what I want. I don't want to spend an extra 4 years after this or maybe probably like no longer, 8 years, 12 years. I don't know how long medical school lasts, but throughout the entire time, it's like you're making zero money. You are probably going to be really broke going through school. And then finally, once you are in your 30s, then you can start making your money. But it's like you've sacrificed all that time and you still have to work like 12 hours a day sometimes to, you know, do your job, right? I have nothing against doctors. Doctors are some of the most important people in the world. We would be nowhere without doctors, but I just realized very quickly that that was not for me. And I came to the conclusion about I don't know what you want to call this, like a mid-college crisis when I was in my junior year. And I was like, this is not a very good period of my life, first of all, where I was really just not mentally healthy at all. I was really, I don't even like thinking about this period of my life where I was just like, I was so lonely. I was so like lost. I had nothing that really made me feel fulfilled. I didn't have any sort of like goals. I didn't like my classes. I didn't really have too many friends. When I was at school at this time, I was just very insecure. I didn't know, I had nothing at this time. And so I was like, these classes suck. I don't want to go to these classes. Like I hate that I have to go to these classes because if I don't, then I'll fail. But it's like, I was looking for something more and I could never find it. And so this actually started, I don't want to go into this, but I started like a drop shipping store. Like at this time, I was like, I got to find something. I cannot let myself finish school and, have to go into some other job, or I don't know. It was just a nightmare. Everything felt like it was collapsing on me all at once. And I realized, like, why is there no other option? Why do I feel like I have to go here and take these classes and do all this stuff when I don't want to? But why is there no other option? And so that was like the entire, my junior year and then kind of into senior year, I was trying to figure out something I could do that was not this. And looking back now, if someone asked me like, should I go to college? I think it is a very personal decision. Like if you genuinely down to your core believe and feel like you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or something that requires a college degree, then by all means go for it. But if you are uncertain about it, then I don't think there is any reason why you should feel obligated to go to college. Because I know lots of people now, they want to be entrepreneurs. I want to be an entrepreneur. That is what I know I want to do. And there isn't really a path for that type of person, because ultimately the world does not reward the outliers. It does not reward the people that don't want to follow that traditional path. And I'm saying that because the college curriculum, the college system is not meant for somebody who wants to achieve very high levels of success. And I'm not saying you can't do that by following the traditional college path or whatever, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, college is just not the way to go. But then there's another group of people that they might feel like they want to be an entrepreneur. They might not know yet. This is like me. They might not know what they want to do, but they feel like they're forced to go. Their parents are forcing them to go to college. And this is a very, very tough position, because it's like you feel like you don't really have a choice. You might not have a choice. But what I would say, as somebody who was in this exact position and didn't even know it, go to like a junior college or something and spend your time there building something, building a YouTube channel, building anything, any sort of business that you would ever want to build. And I'm not going to, sit here and talk about how to build a business or how to build a YouTube channel or anything like that. But like, that was what I wish I would have been spending my time on, instead of going out to the bars and, doing all this fraternity stuff and I don't know, and I don't want to say wasting time, but like spending so much time, wasting time in classes, learning stuff that's not going to help me down the line. I even knew it wasn't going to help me. I couldn't do anything else. I didn't know what else there was to do. If you are in a position where you feel like you're being forced to go to college, maybe you are being forced to go to college, and maybe you don't want to go to a junior college. I went to a 4-year university. I went to the University of Oklahoma. And if that's you, if you are in a position where you have to go, I would just make the best of it at the same time, I would focus more on what you actually want to do, what you actually see yourself doing as a career, as a full-time thing, rather than just the short-term immediate gratification of going out to the bars or doing all the typical college stuff. Like imagine this, if you spent 4 years just grinding every single day on a business or anything that you actually want to do, how much progress do you think you could actually make? Like, it's insane to think about. But most people, when they go to these schools, it's like they don't actually make progress doing anything. But it's like society, the world has it flipped. It's like you spend all 4 years and you, like, I don't know, you get good grades, cool. And then you get the degree, people will tell you how great you are, how congrats, like you're set up, now you're ready to go work a job now. But when, like, if you were to not put all of your effort into classes and you started building a business on the side, people aren't going to tell you good job for that. They're gonna see your below or average grades and they'll be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you gonna be? You're not gonna be successful. It's just so, I don't like that at all. But it's the reality of the situation. That's what I would say. That's why I would say, if you have to go to college, then make it a mission by the end of the 4 years, you know, like, what you want to do. Because I wasted the first 3 years. I don't know if I wasted because I didn't know what else there was to do, but I spent the first 3-4 years of my college career basically just like drifting on a river, just floating down there. I never actually had anything that I was working towards. I just thought, this is just what I have to do, so I'm going to do it. And once, it's kind of funny, like, once I hit my last year of college is when I finally realized that I really don't want to do anything related to this at all. And I truly think that the education system as a whole is not going to last that much longer. Like, people are spending thousands and thousands of dollars every single year to pay for classes that don't really teach you that many valuable lessons, first of all. But the things they teach you, you can essentially go look up on YouTube for free. You can literally learn anything that you want for free on the internet. But we have people spending and paying thousands of dollars every single year just because this one institution gives you a certificate of completion saying that you did it. And it's really just a symbol or a piece of paper that says you can do your homework. That's really all it is. These same schools, these same universities are literally just funneling people into being employees. Like, that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, there's no way around that. And I think more and more people are kind of realizing that they don't want to be an employee. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee, but if you have a choice, I think a lot of people would say that they want to be an entrepreneur. They want to work for themselves. They want to have their own, they want to have their freedom, and they want to be able to work for themselves. Not only is this more fulfilling, in my opinion, I haven't been exposed completely to this world yet. I feel like I know a decent amount about like online business and stuff, and I guess entrepreneurship, but I haven't actually, done anything with it myself, or with that knowledge. I have done a little bit, but nothing that I've, set up, built for the long term. But not only are less people, wanting to be employees, more people are wanting to be entrepreneurs, and more people are realizing that these salaries that these jobs are paying you are not even that good. It's like you can get a $60,000 per year job out of college, and now after all it's all said and done, it's closer to like 40 or 50,000, and that's not much at all. People they try and convince you that that's a lot, but it's not. People are like, there's literally 15-year-old kids making that in a month just because they know how to run a business online. And that is just crazy to think about. And that is why I think college is just losing its relevance, and it's just going to be less and less important and less valuable, as if it's not already on the floor. I think it's going to be just losing its value as time goes on. Because I'm taking classes right now, and I'm taking classes online, and it's like it almost like makes me mad how easy some of these classes are, just because I have access to the internet and I don't actually have to be in an in-person class. Like, I can basically just learn anything that I want. I can find any answer to any quiz. I hope my teachers aren't watching this, or my professors, but I can basically do anything that I want just because I have the internet, and I'm going to get a 4.0 this semester just because I have that. Yeah. But I hope that in the future there is other options, there are other paths that people feel like they can take, because I don't think it is a good thing to feel obligated to go to college if you don't have a career that you are genuinely passionate about, and like you genuinely want to be a doctor, lawyer, teacher, whatever it is, something that actually requires a degree. I wish I could say what that other option would be. But like I said, if you don't know, if you're uncertain and you kind of have to go to college, use that 4 years or use that 2 years at a junior college to build something, to do the things that you love, to take those risks that you might not be able to take after school, and see where it takes you. If you can, focus on something for that long, for 2, 3, 4 years, while everybody else is just kind of drifting along, you'll be able to blow them all out of the water at the end of the 4 years. Like you'll have something that they don't. And even if you don't end up getting that college degree, it won't even matter, right? Like that is just what I think about every single day. I just think like, what if I actually did start, building a business as a freshman in college, or, what if I did that? But really there's no point to think about that now, because the past is the past. I'm here exactly where I am because of the things that happened in the past. And so I'm not going to try and change it or act like, I should have done something different. But yeah, that's about all I have to say on the topic. At the end of the day, I think it is your decision and your decision only, whether you choose to go to college or not. I'm sure if you've already been to college or you're in college right now, you might have a more solid opinion on this. And, if college is the route for you and it's been the route for you, it's worked for you, then that's awesome. If you're in college or you're about to go to college, or you've graduated college and you realize that it wasn't for you or it's not for you, that is okay too. And I think that is something that you should lean into. You should lean into the fact that you don't want to do, you don't want to follow the traditional path. You don't want to spend 4 years learning about stuff you don't care about or whatever. I think there's so much more you can do and so many other routes you can take, but it's all about finding that and figuring out exactly what that is, what you want to build, what you want to create. I think we are all creative, like we're all creative human beings. Like everyone's creative, everyone has access to creativity. And I think going to college and taking these classes and doing these things that are just by the book, I think it's damaging to creativity. I think schools don't reward it. They reward productivity, but not creativity. And so if you think you're a creative person at all, I would keep that in mind for sure. But I think that is all I have to say. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave any questions. I'll answer as many as I can. But until next time, peace out.